Hey everyone, I am Mike of Mike Attest Play, and welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. Last time, we defeated the end of Mount Battle. Mount Battlemaster Somek went down, and our team is now almost level 60. They're mostly 59, but my Pearls is at 60, so you know, we're close. And this time, we're taking on the final boss of the main story. For realsies this time, because we already lost one last week. Now, I would like to note that first of all, losing to the final boss has made no changes in the overworld. Nobody says anything different whatsoever. But if you have not yet battled Miracle B, or you just want to do so again, this is your last chance. Still in the cave. You can battle him one more time. I'm not doing it because, it's like an hour and 15 minutes out of the way. But, you can. You have to go through the whole building again and then the cave. But you can. And after this battle, you cannot. Pretty much it, and there's going to be big changes. But anyway, without further ado, wait. What team do I want to lead off with here? Not you two. You two. We want to take advantage because today, last time we lost intentionally. It was a battle we might have been able to win. Today we're kicking his butt. No holds barred. This is one of the toughest battles in the series, and this is a full guide. I'm going to show you how to wreck it. That's the goal. That's the plan. Ah, it's good to see you. Indeed it is. I've been worried about you. I was worried that you'd run off out of fear of me. Ho, 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 ho. Now are you prepared to be devastated once again? Ha ha! I'll happily humiliate you as often as you're willing. The fact that he has that unique text meant that I had to, in testing, lose to the first trainer of the Elite Four, lose to the second trainer, lose to the fourth trainer, lose to Nazcour, and then lose to Evice to see what changed. It frustrated me. Anywho, Cipher head Evice. We are now up against the final boss of Cipher. The big boss, the head honcho, the evil... Evice, evil and vice. And this time we're actually covering him properly. Now, Evice does have a health item. It's a really weird one, but he does have one. He uses X items, and can use healing items, but often does not. He did not heal a bulked up red health Pokemon that we'll get to. He has one of his most dangerous leads on the field right now, and his team is brutal. Recommended strategies, even before we get to it. Get to level 60, or at least close to it. His team is 60 or 61 with one, Pokemon a little bit lower than that. But basically, he's crazy tough. Evice is the toughest battle in this game, easily. And one of the top 3 to 5 toughest battles in the entire Pokemon series. I mean, obviously, main games where you do actual battles, but I'm including Legends Arceus in this. And, not, super bosses or stuff like that, even though he's harder than most of the super bosses. But for a final boss, at the time he was released, he was the toughest. And only realistically, Cynthia and maybe Ultra Necrozma have matched this level. So if you are not prepared for this fight, you're gonna get wrecked. And that's why I wasn't sad to show off a loss against him. He's a monster. His strategy overall is simple. He uses a collection of super strong Pokemon with outrageous offensive coverage, gives them stat boosting moves, makes sure defensively there is no common weakness. Seriously, besides his Shadow who adds a few, the other 5 Pokemon in his party share 0 weaknesses in common. That's crazy good. Just overall. And, they make sure that they can also take advantage of what each other can do. There's a lot here, basically. So, his starters right now, which can be random. He started with a different set last time. I think he still had Machamp up front, hilariously. Right now, he's leading off with Machamp, level 61, a fighting type, male, with Guts for its ability, and the moves Cross Chop, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Bulk Up. He also has Slowking, level 61, a water psychic type, female, with Own Tempo for its ability, and the moves Psychic, Water Pulse, Shadow Ball, and Skill Swap. And pay attention to that Skill Swap, because it's what makes Slowking so outrageously dangerous here. Now, the smart move is to target the Slowking with everything you've got the second it hits the field. We do not have the matchup to take advantage of that weakness of Slowking. Hitting it with a solid physical attack is the best way to go. Particularly like, I don't know, a ghost move. Our team, the entire game, has been building to beat this team. This has been our focus. And we're going to try to hammer it hard. I'm not going to target Slowking because I want to sort of show off what it does in a little bit. But we're still going to destroy him. Shine, hit the Machamp, take it out with Psychic. Guaranteed one-hit KO. We had 3 possible one-hit KOs with our starting duo. That was our maximum. It left Slowking as a weak point, but As he sends out Scizor, which was not what I anticipated, but that's honestly fine. Mr. A is going to hit it with Ice Beam, which doesn't do all that much damage. I was kind of hoping for the Salamence here. Anywho, got the freeze! That is hilarious. Okay. As Shadow Ball does a lot of damage to Shine, but that's okay. Scizor has now hit the field and immediately gotten frozen, which is just funny, but is level 60, a Bug Steel type, female, with Swarm for its ability, and the moves Metal Claw, Silver Wind, Swords Dance, and Baton Pass. Scizor is capable of raising all of its stats with a Silver Wind, which also not a natural move for Scizor. You have to do breeding and stuff to get it in Gen 3. A physical Bug-type move, by the way, which Scizor always wants. Baton Pass can pass those stats, or just pass Swords Dances to any of his other Pokemon, all of whom have physical attacks in their movesets and can take advantage of that Baton Pass. This is part of the genius of Evice's team. No matter what Pokemon he has out, he has a strategy in mind that he can take advantage of. However, the best approach against Evice is to hunt for any advantage you can get. Fire on Scizor is a ×4 effective move. Ice hits the Salamence. A Psychic from your starting Espeon can take out his, I'm going to switch the shade here to try to deal with the Slowking problem. Can take out the Machamp. You know, we've got Hidden Power Fire. I wanted Hidden Power Fire for this Scizor. I've been planning this team against Evice's team since before the series began. He's got X items here, which actually gave us a kind of a free switch. The Slowking was going to get an attack off, so no. But yeah, so I've got notes off the wazoo for this battle, if you couldn't tell. But yeah. He also makes sure that there's a defined way to set up his ace. And we're not seeing it yet, jeez. I want to save Shine here. We're going to bite the Slowking and swap Shine out. Back to Mr. Ray. Salamence is who I was hoping for. Salamence, as this turn progresses, is level 60, Dragon Flying type, male, with Intimidate for its ability, and the moves Dragon Claw, Aerial Ace, Double Edge, which just did a lot of damage, and Dragon Dance, boosts its attack and speed. Yeah. Dangerous, to say the least. Slowking did not take much, but flinched. Okay, got the flinch. Excellent. We're going to continue trying to do that as we take out this Salamence. Here, okay, that's fine. That's fine, because we're hitting it with an Ice Beam right now, and that'll take it out. Every member of his team can do something super scary, but if you're super well prepared for it and willing to make the right switches at the right times, you can get a massive advantage like I now have, although I have set up his best possible combination. Kind of intentionally to show it off. Because here's his ace. Slacking. He didn't do it. Okay, excellent. Your mistake, Evice. Slacking is level 60. Normal type, male with Truant for its ability, and the moves Crush Claw, Earthquake, Aerial Ace, and Bulk Up. Now, Slacking has the same base stats as most legendaries. Higher than most legendaries, I should say. The reason Slacking is normally not all that great is because of its ability, Truant, which only allows it to attack once every 2 turns. A fix to that is the move Skill Swap, which can give an ability to another Pokemon in exchange for theirs. Slowking sets up Skill Swap onto Slacking, which unleashes a Pokemon with outrageous base stats and a moveset to devastate most teams without a weakness. In fact, it gives it a strength in that you can't confuse it, which would be helpful given its base 160 attack power. This Slacking is the ruiner of worlds for those who do not know what's coming. Now, on the field right now, we have Slacking's honestly worst nightmare, Shade. Now, you might think it's Bay. Bay is absolutely my plan for the Slacking. But an Umbreon has the defensive chops to take this thing one-on-one if it still has Truant. This is Umbreon's biggest advantage in the game. Everything else is great, but Umbreon can stall out this Slacking as long as it doesn't have a skill-swapped own tempo. And I'm going to really hope it doesn't by double targeting the Slowking, which he just full restored. But you know what? That's fine. Sorry, Mr. Ray, you had to take the hit. You did your job. You took out the Salamence while being immune to Earthquake. And now Mapearls comes in. This is his most dangerous thing. He skill swaps away from the Truant, and then if the Slowking is still in the field, it can skill swap the Truant onto you. Now, Slowking has great special defense, but poor physical defense, which means Mapearl is on the team in part to deal with the Slowking. The whole team is based around this fight. Like, not entirely. I also really wanted to use them, but they're all here for this fight. And we took out the Slowking before it could skill swap away the Truant. So I had it on the field, but I managed to beat it. And that is exactly what I wanted to showcase here. So I'm very glad that that just happened. Oh yeah. Then there's Tyranitar. The ultimate Shadow Pokemon. Tyranitar has Sandstream. And Slacking is now hurt by it. Tyranitar is Evice's main weakness. Outside of the crazy team swapping all over the place that I've been doing, Tyranitar, Evice is not built for a Sandstream team. He's just not. And Tyranitar shares a fighting type weakness with Slacking, making fighting a shared weakness for him. And that's, you know, not ideal. And it's a times 4 weakness. Now, you don't want to be knocking out this Tyranitar because obviously it's a Shadow Pokemon. Shadow Tyranitar is level 59, comes holding a Nugget. It's his only hold item, and it's just Nugget, which is just hilarious because it's a sell item. Doesn't actually have an effect. It's a Rock Dark type, which can be either male or female because it's, you know, a wild Pokemon basically, and will always have Sandstream for its abilities. It carries the moves Shadow Rush, Thunder, Rock Slide, and Blizzard, so it can hurt anything. Tyranitar has had a drop, the third drop so far, in the game, from a base catch rate of 45 to a snag rate of just 10, the lowest snag rate in this game, by the way. And it's a drop which makes sense for Evice's ultimate Shadow Pokemon. And it has a heart gauge of 20,000, which is by far the most in the game. Second is Metagross at 15,000. So it's like a whole-on Shadow Pokemon beyond the second most tough to purify Shadow in the game. It's big, basically. And yeah, we've kind of gone over everything, but as I said, Hunt Evice for any advantage you could possibly get. Ice on Salamence, Fire on Scizor, Espeon can get the clean Psychic on Machamp. Think along those lines and be prepared for half your team to get KO'd. It's possible to come away clean. I'm certainly trying for that here. Well, I was trying. Mr. Ray got taken out, but, you know, kind of for an advantage for us. And, you know, if you try to force it, I didn't try to force it because I was in a really good spot. I took the KO because it put me in a better spot. Guaranteed me the easy win, basically. If you try to force it, he can just steamroll you. A free turn against Evice can either give him a setup, it can give him a free KO somewhere, it can give him that Squill swap onto Slacking. It's just dangerous. The single most important thing, avoid double switching your team members because that just gives them a free turn. If you are making a double swap, the computer tends to read that and go for either a setup or a double X item. So, you know, don't. And double target that Slowking as soon as it hits the field. Slacking is dangerous even with Truant, but without it, it just crushes things. So, you know, it's the best strategy he's got. It'll almost certainly lead to your loss unless you're really well prepared for it. And even if Slacking isn't on the field, don't target his other Pokemon. I have seen him have Slowking on the field with, like, Salamence. You knock out the Salamence, and it skill swaps into the oncoming Slacking. He's prepared for that. So, you know, if it's left alone with Truant, it's half as troublesome. And as I said, can be soloed by Umbreon if need be. And I speak from experience, which I'll talk about sort of after this battle ends. But for Shadow Tyranitar, as it hits the field, just use the Master Ball. There's very little reason not to here. You can dupe the Master Ball. I am not. I am specifically not to use it up. I will not be duping it the rest of the game. I will not be using it the rest of the game. I'm just going to throw it here. But for the Tyranitar, you've got a Sandstorm going, which will hurt most of your team. It's got the game's lowest catch rate, a ridiculous amount of offensive coverage, no remaining snags in the game with a catch rate below 45. So there's just no real reason not to just chuck the guarantee at it. I don't recommend using it against the Metagross unless you're duping it, which honestly is the best idea most of the time. But this is the Pokemon who the Master Ball is for in this game. So if you've got it, use it. And we're going to. Just chuck the Master Ball. Don't let his Ultimate Shadow get a move off. Tyranitar is dangerous, you know. And fun fact, in the final test battle for this battle, the test team did make it clean. We had the couple of right switches at the right moments, and you know, he had a good matchup lead for me. And yeah, Shade just tanked Crush Claw, which is Slacking's best hit with less than half damage taken, and now has a Toxic up. Moonlight won't work well because of the Sandstorm, but I could get rid of the Sandstorm with Rain Dance if I wanted to. And, you know, although, actually, Mr. Ray is KO'd, so probably not. But yeah, he's not going to be able to attack next turn. He's poisoned with Toxic. Maperos is swapping out. Bay, you're getting in there. Lower its attack. Hit it with a fighting type move. So this battle is ours. You know, easy peasy, right? You know, not like I planned an entire team around him, made sure I was at his level by grinding an extra 100 battles, and then predicted most of his moves and had a perfect outcome. Near perfect. And still got a KO. And Sandstorm raging. So, you know. Yeah. As Shade is battered. You know, he could still knock out Shade here. Because I'm not going to heal. Because I don't need a healing item to beat him. Just going to bite and Brick Break and get the win. Oh, he bulked up! Wow. Yeah. Desperate. But it's fitting. It's real fitting to have Slacking as the last Pokemon on the field for him. It's Evice's ace, and it's honestly one of the most dangerous ace Pokemon in the history of the series. And it's the fact that the rest of his team is also deadly that makes it so scary for this fight. But we did it. I actually wasn't nervous about it because I knew we had it, but still tough. And Chafe hits level 60. Deservedly so. And the pros also get some as poor Blue didn't get to come in on this one, but you know, Blue was kind of a backup. Yawn can be very helpful against a Truant Slacking, but we have defeated Cipher Head Evice.
No! Even my ultimate Pokemon!
It's 6,100 for winning. Nice. And the police are here! Halt! Stop where you are. There's no getting away this time. When did he before? And Duking's here! And Silva! Cipher's finished. The Shadow Pokemon plan ends now. The mob has arrived with the police. And Egan.
Rui, are you alright?
And a Pikachu.
Pikachu! Blast you! Don't you forget what you've done, Wes. It won't end this way next time. I will ruin you the next time. I promise you that.
Evice has a little helicopter. No, he's trying to escape with that helicopter. Wah! Let us meet again. I have the power of levitation. I can just levitate up to my helicopter. Look at him. He's levitating. NASCAR's hair is still flowing in the breeze.
Our bid to take over the world using Shadow Pokemon hasn't ended yet.
Oh, wait. Kaboom. Your plan. I think it just ended.
What?
Evice, you and your cronies are under arrest. There's an entire stadium full of them. Oh, what is that? Ho-Oh even showed up. It's a legendary Pokemon. It's a Ho-Oh. It is. It really is a Ho-Oh. It's incredible. It must have been keeping an eye on your heroics from the sky above. You obviously earned its support. Of course, it would also never allow criminals to get off scot-free, not when they're guilty of an outrage like creating Shadow Pokemon. Oh, wow. So Ho-Oh was watching over us. Wes, I guess it's finally over. We faced a lot of challenges, but thanks to you, Wes, everything has been resolved. Wes, thank you. You were strong, you answered the call, and you were cool. Look at that! Ho-Oh is so close! He is pointing with his entire fist. So true. This is the first time I've seen one up so close. Rui and Wes, the Ho-Oh is a blessing you for your victory. Such a perfect outcome? Yes, indeed! As Ho-Oh flies overhead. As we have captured the legendary trio that Ho-Oh is the boss of, so you know, fitting that Ho-Oh shows up. And that is the main story of Pokemon Colosseum. As the credits roll, I want the credits to roll because I want to, you know, give credit to the people who made this absolutely phenomenal game. But I'm not talking about the series as a whole yet because we are nowhere close to done. I'm aware that we just beat the final boss, but it's the final boss of the main story. We've got a lot left. There's a very large post-game in Pokemon Colosseum. So I'm not going to talk about the credits right now, because we'll do that. I mean, I guess, like, look at the Pokemon and the animations. They're very cool credits. They're showing Shadow Pokemon. Mostly, outside of, there's Trico and Mudkip, and I'm sure Torchic will show up, yeah. But they're mostly showing Shadow Pokemon. And I'd like to put out my theory that I think Ho-Oh was originally planned to be Evice's final Pokemon. And then they switched that. But Ho-Oh is actually relevant to this full guide because, yeah, we're going for it. The final hidden secret of this game. We're doing it. We're covering the whole game, as I've said many times throughout this adventure. But as the credits roll, I would like to talk about Evice for the first time I battled him. Now, I've been playing Pokemon since Red and Blue first hit the United States back in, what, 97, 96? 97, I think. And when Colosseum came out here, where I live in the US, it was 2004. I was 13. So I was pretty good at Pokemon. I'd played it a lot, but I wasn't really good yet. And I had breezed through Pokemon Blue version when it first came out. I had very little trouble with the Yellow version, because I wanted to use like Pikachu in the starters, and there wasn't a rare candy glitch, and I wanted to use like more than just one Pokemon for that game, and Jirachi's in the credits, which is nice for the bonus disc. But I didn't struggle much, basically, in Gen 1. Then Gen 2 came out, and there was some struggle, primarily against Red. And also, some of the gym leaders gave me fits for, I was only using one Pokemon, as most kids do. But then, Gen 3, I had no difficulties whatsoever in Ruby Sapphire. And then this game came out. And this game was a monster. Daykim gave me trouble for days. Because I had to, like, train up a new team, basically. Because I just wasn't prepared for him. I had, like a Typhlosion. As we're already at the save screen, there's not a whole lot of credits here. But Evice was a different problem. I had Espeon, Umbreon, the 3 legendary dogs, and I think still Typhlosion as my 6th team member. They were like low 50s to high 40s. I crushed everything. I beat NASCAR. I was like, all right, easy. And then Evice showed up. I had the guide. I knew he was on the way. But he wrecked me. His slacking didn't even need to get skill swapped. And I couldn't do anything. I had to train. I had to raise my Pokemon's levels again and again and again. I trained up a Medicham to be able to hit him with a fighting type move. I caught his Tyranitar on my first try by using the Master Ball when I only had one Pokemon left. And I lost that battle on the same turn I snagged his Tyranitar. So that was fun. And then I had to do it again. I finally pulled through. One morning, I woke up early and decided this is just what I'm just going to do it. And I pulled through by my Umbreon one-on-oneing his slacking at the end. And Umbreon managed to pull it off. I was using healing items, which I almost never did. I was doing everything in my power, and Umbreon barely pulled through. And that is when I gained my true appreciation for Umbreon as a Pokemon. But Evice wrecked me, and ever since, whenever I play this game, I have a plan in mind for Evice. I am always ready for Evice, because no trainer has beaten me as many times as Evice did. Evice beat me like 30 times. Like, Red beat me like 10 before I realized, oh, hey, I can use Hyper Potions. Or Revives. Cynthia gave me a little bit of trouble when she came out. The Tate and Liza and Emerald version were tough. Ultra Necrozma hit me like a truck in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I was way past thinking I could lose in game then. But Evice was a challenge like no other. So that's why I wanted to really just kick his butt here, to kind of show, yes, you can. It's just tough. This is the only forced save in the game. So I'm going to really hope that this recording did not fail. As we now get back to the outskirts stand and have an email. And we will be reading that email next time. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time as we head straight into the post game. See you guys then.